So we are starting our first project. Okay, so as usual, let me just call my HTML and then, oh sorry, let me get my HTML and hit. I have my empty HTML here, so I just hit enter so that I have here. So with the hero, with the title, I'll say hero section. Okay, all right. So let's come back to the body. So I won't be explaining much code like that because of the time. It might be long, so we go to one by one. So before I start, I want to link my CSS, which is style.css. Okay, I want to link it to. I'm talking about the CSS here. You can see the cursor. It's also when you go there, there's nothing there. Okay, so but I have to link it to the HTML so that whatever I want to do with it will work. So I can set link. Okay, you can type it literally, but with the help of Sublime Text, you have it embedded. So you just write the name style. Okay, dot css. Please, the name you use to install the css, that's what you use as well here. So we come here and we can have a header. Okay, so you can say the header. Okay, okay, we have header here, right? So within the header, we need to have a div that will control. A div will set as container to host our this for us. But then let's give the header a class. A class is just a name given to a particular tag so that we can call that name and style it in the CSS. Okay, that's the work of a class. So we call it CSS selectors. All right, so we can name it hero since that's what we are planning to do. Okay, so we come to the div. The div too, we can give it another section, maybe like class. Since this one is containing the content, we can name it hero dash content. Okay, the name you give to your class should be okay so that when someone take your code, the person can read your code easily. Okay, so the name should deep oh, the English is not coming, by the way. The name should just tell what actually you are coding for. Okay, so we have another container called nav, which we are planning to have our links inside. Okay, so within this link we are going to list our navigation bars. Okay, when we go to the here, we have home, about, contact, and port. Okay, so we are going there. Okay, so before we do that, we call something an ordered list. Okay, and we stand for UL. Okay, HTML is just some fun hypertext language that you can just use easily. So with that, we can have the list. Okay, sorry, you can have the list tag. Um, within the okay, so within the this thing we have list, and then within this list we have our closing title. All right, so with the first list we want to give a link to our navigations. Okay, so we call a tag or anchor tag here a. Okay, and then with the anchor tag, when you give space bar, we got something href. You can type it literally here, and then here we have to write the first name, which is home, and then we can close our anchor tag. Okay, so this is how it is. So we are going to copy this and then we duplicate it by the number of tags we have. I think there are 4, and then we paste this one. So the next one should be, I think, about, right? About, and then we go next. The second one will be something like contact, right? Oh sorry, contact, and then the last one is portfolio, but I will short it to be port. Okay, so short it to be port. So this is what we have. All right, so if I want to view this in the browser, so this is what we'll be having. Okay, home, about, and stuff. Mind you, we don't need internet for this. Okay, feel free, you don't need internet for this. So let's go back to the image. We can see that after the home, about, we have welcome, and then our website or something. All right, so let's go there. I think with the first one, after our name here, okay, we can have the title of our page. Okay, so we can say that. Let me use H1 for that. So um, I think first website. Let me use capital letters or W website. Okay, and then after that we have a small text under it. If we look at that, we said that stay with me as I embark on my web project. Okay, my web developer project. So we are going to do that. With that one, we use a tag called P. Okay, which is paragraph tag. So I say stay with me as I embark. Okay, on my web development, right? Project. Okay, so in all, this is what we are having. Okay, so let me view the site again so that we see what we are having here. So this is our site. We just started. Okay, our site is just growing, that we are moving to. So the next thing to do is to move on to our CSS and to style. So when you come to the CSS, there's nothing here. Okay, so we are going to style our CSS. Okay, so the first thing to style is the hero section. I told you that we give it a class which is name, so we are going to call this name and we will style it. Okay, so here we say that we give dot whenever I want to call what class. It's just a pathway, so we say dots, and then we paste the name, and then we use curly bracket. Okay, so here we are going to type all the necessary style we want to give to our code or our site. Okay, okay, so with our uh, hero section, we would like to use uh, display. Okay, you say flex. That's what we call CSS flex. People are not familiar with this, but I'll explain them as time goes on. Okay, then we use align item. We are going to align our items to the center. We want them to be at the center. And then again, we want to justify our content also to be center. Okay, so gradually we are moving forward. We want to give it a height. Let's give it a height, probably a height of something like let me give it 90 v8. V8 means viewport height. Okay, it depends on the screen you are using. That's the height it will take. Okay, so that it will look nice in that. Okay, so the next one we can do is for us to fix our background image. For us to fix our background image, so our background image, I've received a call. Sorry, a minute. Yo, Javed. Yo. Okay. Then come over. All right. Thank you. I received a call. Sorry about that. So, let's continue. So we want to give it a height. After the height, let's give our image, our background image. So we say background here, and then we say that URL. Then we hit enter. Now we type the name of the image. Make sure the image you are going to use should be in the same folder. that we are using. So the image I have in my folder is first site dot. My own is JPG, which is JPEG. JPEG means the image have background. Some are PNG, you know, the image file. So that's what we have. Okay, so we are going to view our site again and see what we are having. So when we view our site, you can see that all our properties move here to the center, which is very nice. Okay, and what else could be the situation here? So that's about coding for you. Sometimes you'll be coding and it seems like your effects are not coming, but you kept or keep on pushing to get the desirable this thing that you want. Okay, all right. So here I wish to, I don't know if it is okay. So the name is wrong, so I can see that. So R is not there, which is first for the image. So I think now I can have my image here. Okay, so now we have our image, very beautiful. So we are on a journey to hit the top. All right, so first of all, let's style our h1 here, which is the site. So we call upon the h1 dot h1 here. Okay, so we say our h1, let's give it some font size. We know what font size means. If you are familiar with Microsoft Word, you know that. I can give it something like 1 point. Okay, let me use pixels so that people will not confuse. Okay, let me just use something like 40 pixels. I think that would be okay. You can use margin. Okay, margin button to be something like 120 pixels. But 120 will be too much. Let's make it 20 pixels. And we are going to deal with our P, which is the paragraph, the text over here. Okay, the text over here, which is the P. So we call upon the P here. Oh, sorry, this is not a class, so I'm supposed not to use this. Okay, so our P here. Okay, we can give it font size of probably like something like 18 pixels. Then we can give margin bottom the same thing, something like 30 pixels. Okay, so let's see what we'll be having here. All right, so I think our site is beginning to make sense small. So looking at our website right now, we have some dot line. Okay, so those are default because of what we are using, because of the tag we use called the unordered list. Okay, this one. Okay, so let's try our best to remove all those lines within them. First of all, we call upon the nav, which is the nav, and we call the descendant of it, which is the ul. Okay, so we say nav. All right, then you say ul. We open our curly bracket. So what do you want? Okay, we can say that list style. We want to remove the style. We can say none. All right. So when we do that, it means that we are now removing. So we save and we view our site and see. Okay, so let me refresh. You can see that we don't have that particular dot over there anymore. Okay, so right now our target is to remove the underlying line as well. Okay, and see the order for it. So with that, we call upon the nav again. Okay, we say nav, sorry, we say nav, and then ul. We call the descendant of the ul, which is the what? Li. Okay, then we open the curly bracket again. All right, here we can say display inline. We want it to be in line with each other. Oh, sorry, someone is calling. So you can say display inline. All right, so you can say inline. You can see it here. All right, so this will help our site to move, or the how do I call it? It's able to move our navigation. So display inline will help. Let's give it some margin right. Okay. Uh, I'm feeling lazy to type. You can say margin right. Let's give it some 20 pixels. All right. So let's see the effect that we'll be having as well. All right. So this what we are having now. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. All right. So let's give it some color. Okay. We can give it a color. On let's do with the A, which is the navigation link itself. So we can copy from here. Okay. I wish to explain each line of code, but it will make the video long. But then, if people agree, then we can do that. So we are calling the anchor tag. Okay. And then from there, we can say let's give it color of white. Okay. You can write white. As for the color, you can write or you use a color code. But I love to write. Okay. I love to write the color. All right. Then we can say text decoration. Okay, you can say text decoration to remove any decoration around the text. That one too we can say none. All right, next code we can write, we can set font weight. Let's make it bold small. Okay, font weight, when you know how to use a font that weight, if you know how to use word, as I said earlier, you know that we can use font weight to set bold or border. Okay, so that's it. So I wish to add something like animation, but first of all, let me see what I will be having. Okay, still that we are removing the line. Okay, so this is what we are having. Very nice. But I think the color white is not helping, and that is not the color we have, because when we look at the picture, we are having some color like orange. Okay, so let's try and use that color. So instead of white, we write orange over there. Okay, orange. Okay, so that we can have the color to be orange for our site. So let's view again and see what we are having. All right, so this is what we have here. Okay, looking upon the site again, I think there's nothing to change. There's nothing to change right now. Okay, so that's all. But I would like to add something we call hover. Okay, so that when I hover over the thing, you see something new about that. So we call upon the nav again. Okay, and we say UL. All right, we say list. Okay, then we see this. All these are just the code we've written in the HTML. That's the code we are calling right now to style. But right now we use semicolon. All right, then we write hover. All right. So with the hover, which color do you want to use? I can tell, but I think when you hover, you should give us a color of uh maybe um maybe red. Okay, red will be okay. I think so. Let me use red for that hover color. Okay, and let's hover and see if you have that color. So I will refresh the page, and if I hover, you see that the color changed to red. Okay, so that's the hover property we are talking about. Okay, we can see that. All right, so that's what else should I add? I think I should have add some, probably. Let me give some font size to this one to be quite big small. So let me make it 20 pieces. I think 20 will be too big. Oh, but let me see how it looks like. Okay, so the 20 is okay. So when you hover, you can see what we are having. So you can see that your site is set to go. Okay, your site is set to go. And when I hover, you can see that the transition here, there's no transition. Everything is just going straight, straight, straight. So let me add some transition that you can see. It's not part of the video, but I just wish to add to that. Okay, so we can write transition under here, and we say that transition, okay, transition, we can have color because we want to transition the color. You can say 0 point, which one do you want to give? I think 0.3 seconds is means the delay at which you want it to delay. Yeah, all right. So when I hover now, let me go and refresh the site and we hover and you see. So you could see that it delayed before coming. So that's the tutorial for today. Thank you. Try our best and finish it.